Okay, he's pulled the frame in. We're going to look at 3 options to deal with this near side frame. First one, okay, I've still got my cross face. I'm underneath here. I'm going to keep hold of that. I'm going to take this knee, and look, it's like a gecko. I'm using the inside of my knee. If I try and use the top of my knee, my weight goes up and my hips start to raise. Okay, let's keep it as low profile as possible, and I gecko the knee onto the top of the shoulder. Once I'm here, okay, now I'm going to put my weight into it, and I'm going to use the crowbar effect here, taking this hand now to control the hip. So focus now on the knee and what it's doing, and as I come up, it's like a reverse knee on belly, and I'm going to glide it off his pec, down the side of his ribs, and down towards the mat. Now when we get here, if we can get it to the mat, it's great. We can just start to edge it out, or we can come in with the other knee and pry it out like so, once the other knee's in place. What can happen, and often happens, is we'll get the knee on, we'll come up, and it's really tight, and we're struggling to get that in there. They can remain really tight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this knee now, and I'm going to switch back and drive that underneath. We can then cinch in, and we're sitting into that sort of Keza position, pull over the knee, replace, and flick back down. Okay then, next option, so that's my favourite. We might as well cover it as we were just there, is the whole sitting into Keza side of things. So as we do this arm's coming round, pulling high on the shoulder and pulling down. And as I switch, I'm tracing down to grab as much material, ideally just below the elbow. That's where I like to work. And then the knee, we all understand that we sit through, okay? But sometimes it's the invisible bits that we never quite get with the jiu-jitsu. As we sit through, the knee is gliding between the ribs and the arm. So it's gliding up here, trying to separate the arm from the ribs as I've got this tension this way, okay? So as I glide through, the knee's coming under, and I need to get underneath the elbow. I'm not going to get a full clean sit through necessarily, because they're not just going to give it to me. But what this does do is it gets me to a start state. I can then take another step forward and now drive my hips through, knee into the shoulder, secure this again, step, toes in the mat, switch my knee back down to the hip as this one comes in and replaces by the shoulder, tracing down the arm, leaving no space to re-secure my side. Okay, last option, third of the 3, I'm going to send his hips this way. And the reason I'm going to do that is because in this position here, his elbow's in tight and it's hard to get it away once that frame's in, okay? So if he keeps that elbow on the mat now, as I send his hips this way, it's much harder for him to keep that in the mat because it's separated from the body, okay? So as I do that, I'm going to use my knee to scoop it back up. So we're in our side position, okay? We've got him flat. He's got the frame in. I'm going to take a little step this way with the knee, and then the far knee nearest his hips is going to glide under, driving up this way. Now I'm going to use that knee again to scoop by the ribs and drive back up to clear that elbow. When I get to here, cinching up on this side, I might need to sit through, or I might be able to just draw it up and bring it in. However, or whatever feels right for you at the time. And then we're just looking at combining them all together. So just for that last little bit, if his head was here, okay, and his feet at this end, naturally, okay, I've got my head control. I take these two have to work together. I've got to move my base slightly. So this one comes down, then this one slides under the knees, that big glide. Then this one comes back in and glides back up the body to bring the elbow away. That's the aim. As we know, it's never that easy. However, 3 options. Have a go at them. Enjoy.